The narrative of Jada McPherson continues to unfold. As you are aware, Jada McPherson is a college student who lives in Queens Ridgewood neighborhood. She was searching for a parking space on her way home. It seems the neighbor across the street was holding it, but she managed to find a parking space. It should be first come, first served, and that person was simply sitting in the parking space with a trash can, which is against the law. Jada continues to drive in search of a parking space which is occupied by this person. She is not permitted to park there. She exits and approaches the person who is reserving the parking space for their mother, who has not yet shown up. Okay, according to what I've heard, these are not Hispanic immigrants. These individuals are Romanian migrants who have relocated to the United States. Everything then went as follows. They were fighting outside, and the transgender woman, who was born a man but is now a transgender woman, is the one who starts the altercation with Jada McPherson. Isn't this person about 6'2"? After that, Jada McPherson is beaten by the entire family. The story then goes viral after that. This occurred when the black community came out.
Because a black woman was assaulted. We are here today because a black woman was assaulted by 3 people right here in this very spot.
Due to the assault of a black woman, 3 individuals attacked a black woman in this exact location, which is why we are here today. As a result, these people are now afraid for their lives. As you can see, there is now a consensus that they are prepared to apologize. I'm fairly certain that people have already seen the black girl named Jada who was jumped by that Spanish family.
Girl named Jada, the black girl who got jumped by that Spanish family. I just saw an interview of the family with the mom and the son explaining like their side of the story, and just full of book. It's straight full of book. Just tell by their body language, they really don't care.
And so that apology actually happened.
I recently watched a family interview in which the mother and the man, the son, gave their version of events and were full of bullshit. Their body language makes it clear that they don't give a damn. The apology was published in the New York Post. Now, this is interesting to me. This assault happened. They were arrested and subsequently freed from jail. But check out the interview.
About my mom, you know, because I know the parking was being held for her. I just, for the safety of my mother, I wanted to see what was going on. The moment my mom had arrived and approached her calmly, she just started calling her racial slurs, threatening her, calling her an old ugly.
She wouldn't shut up.
She wouldn't
shut up
9 yards.
whatsoever, like at all.
The whole 9 yards. So I officially got out the building and I slightly approached her to see what was going on. And I was like, what happened? Because, you know, these insults were being heard by everyone for a whole 30 minutes straight. She wouldn't, like, stop yelling. And I would understand if we reacted that way for a parking, but it wasn't for a...
I was just thinking about my mom, you know, because I know the parking was being held for her. Just for the protection of my mother, I wanted to know what was going on. The instant my mom had arrived and addressed her quietly, she just started calling her racial slurs. Threatening her, calling her old, ugly. She wouldn't shut up. The whole 9 yards. Whatsoever. Like, at all. The whole 9 yards. So I formally got out of the building and I slightly approached her to see what was going on. I was thinking, what happened? Because, you know, these slurs were being heard by everyone for 30 minutes straight. She wouldn't, like, quit yelling. If we had behaved that way for a parking space, I might understand. But it wasn't for a parking space. It was the way she came up to us and harassed us for 30 minutes in a row till we were detained for 45 minutes since we were simply defending ourselves. I'm sorry about that. It would have been extremely inappropriate of me to do that. It was incorrect. It was incorrect. I'm sorry. I apologize for how I approached myself after being provoked. But to be humiliated and mentally tormented for 45 minutes, her calling me names and inciting the scenario, no, it's not the solution. She is also aware of the reality. This interview was a half-hearted apology. Therefore, I want to talk about a few things that happened. In the second clip, I concur with the brother. The transgender daughter essentially states, well, I was worried about the safety of my mother. Thus, it is evident that you have a brother, your mother, and Jada McPherson who is living alone. Additionally, she is unhappy because you are illegally using a parking space. During this chat, I noted that the transgender daughter did not think that was inappropriate. I'm not sure, but it might be the case in Queens or New York City. However, it seems to me that if someone is there to take a parking space and you are unable to do so at that moment, it should be first come, first served. Therefore, there wouldn't be a problem if you didn't do it. Secondarily, they're saying, all right, we're sorry, but she wouldn't stop talking. She had a manner of talking to me that she wouldn't quit. I felt ashamed. Let's return to the initial reason you found yourself in this predicament. She had the right to the parking space because she was there, but you didn't want to give it up. Your mom would have just had to travel a long distance or find another parking spot, but you didn't want to do that. For this, you were attempting to intimidate her, all right? Furthermore, you do not have the right to beat someone just because they are yelling at you, all right?
Till the 45-minute mark where we got arrested because we were just only sticking up for ourselves.
I regret that. It was very wrong of me to do. Very wrong of me to do. It wasn't right. It wasn't right. I regret it. But to get humiliated and mentally abused for 45 minutes, her calling me names and provoking the situation.
I apologize for approaching myself the way I did after being provoked. It's not the answer.
Look at the unaccountability, for example. To put it simply, the Jewish community would not tolerate this apology's backtracking if the victim had been Jewish. They refused to take it. They would demand complete responsibility. However, this illustrates how people view black people. I'm not sure if Jada McPherson is Nanch and FBA at this point. She may or may not be a member of the Caribbean community. I'm not sure. However, I can tell you that their perception of the black community does not warrant an apology. This is quite frightening. I'm worried about two things here. One, my initial topic of discussion was the reality that a transgender lady or non-black transgender person can attack a cis or natural woman. These phrases are, well, since this is YouTube, you need to be particular, don't you? And then nothing can happen and you can leave immediately, all right? Furthermore, no one truly discusses that aspect. Two, secondly, this apology is probably acceptable to the black community. I am aware of Jada McPherson's statement that she cannot accept this since it lacks accountability. Now, she accepted that she had said the incorrect thing. I would also add that despite the problems we face in life, we still need to be concerned about how we react to them. Again, it's difficult for me to convince myself that she is at the age of 21. I am now 44. I have to learn many lessons from life. At 21, would I approach things differently? No. I think I would react similarly, becoming angry and frustrated, okay? But now that I'm 44, I realize that, hey, listen, I can respond to the issue however I want and attempt to find a different solution. Considering that Jada McPherson might have been killed, then this is it correct? Death threats have been made against them. Alright, there have been threats against this PT couple. Then I would suggest that you are not improving your situation for yourself because of the way you are responding on the New York Post. For example, you must demonstrate complete accountability. Jada McPherson is my choice. Hey, I called you immigrants, or something like that might have been what she said. Alright, however, that doesn't justify someone being, jumped by the mother, brother, and transsexual daughter, who is 6'2". You've all done that. What she names you doesn't matter to me. Now, what are you supposed to do? The cops should be called. America is where you reside. You are aware that you should contact the police if you believe that violence will increase. We have the entire incident on camera in case the transgender daughter doesn't realize that it was a self-defense situation. At the very least, we witnessed the entirety of it, including who struck whom first. That's the only thing the judge will consider. We witnessed it. What could you do if you felt threatened or thought that you would be at risk in this situation? You had the option to call the police.
Straight to see what was going on, and I was like, what happened? Because, these insults were being heard by everyone. For a whole 30 minutes straight, she wouldn't, stop yelling. And I would understand if we reacted that way for a parking, but it wasn't for a parking. It was the way she approached us and provoked us.
In this area of Queens or the city of New York, the police are paid to come out and deal with these domestic conflicts. Okay? Once a judge or court sees everything you're saying, they won't want to hear that. Oh, well, she wouldn't shut up. This is why you should be concerned that it would get out of hand. This is not what they want to hear. Oh, I was humiliated. The problem is that we're going to examine what would have happened if you had just given her the parking space and weren't occupying it via illegal means. What would have occurred is that you would have been fine.
Like she is, it's hard. I'm 44 now. Life had to teach me a lot of lessons. Would I handle it different at 21? No. I'd probably handle it in the same way, be mad and upset, all right? But at 44, I understand now that, hey, listen, I have the ability to react to the situation in the way that I want.
There are a few options available to you. You had the options of walking, calling an Uber to your house, parking the car somewhere else, and trying again the following day. It doesn't appear that your mother is so old that she can't walk to her home. She was old enough to be leaping people after all. At the time, she appeared to be in good health. Additionally, I would want to reiterate this. These people seem to be Romanian. Dumitru is the final name I see. So that is a Romanian last name. Yeah, and not a Hispanic last name. So again, like from what I'm understanding here, this is not, I think, right, this is not Hispanics from what they tell me. All right. So guys, what do you think? Click the bell to subscribe. We're leaving.